Welcome back to Caught Lookin, episode 15, the final episode of season one and our last show of 2025. It's honestly crazy to say that out loud. We started this just as kind of like a place to hang out with, gab about our favorite team, but it's really turned into something a lot of fun. And we also have all of our listeners and supporters to thank for that. We really appreciate you guys. So tonight
Yep.
we're closing out the year the best way we know how, talking guards, reflecting on the season, and just enjoying one more round together before we take a break. I'm Meg, and joining me for the final episode are Nicole, Madeline, Allie, and Ash. How are you ladies feeling tonight?
Cold.
Cold. I'm
Very.
freezing.
Very cold.
Correct.
We were supposed to get 1 to 3 inches of snow overnight, and we got like 5. So
No.
it is freezing here.
Cleared the sidewalks. My husband cleared the sidewalks, and it's just kept snowing, and it's just undone.
They've just been plowing my development nonstop.
At least you're getting plowed. Oh,
Yeah, thankful for that.
I'm not even sure if I want to leave that in. I can't.
What's the rating on this podcast? Do we have one?
We do now.
It was PG-13.
That's one of those things, though, that like a kid would hear, they wouldn't know.
It's one of those like it's only weird because you made it weird
I know.
type
I
of
know.
things.
Yeah.
But
It did
is
take me a second to
Like
realize
they
what
put
was
that
happening.
line in a Disney movie, and then
Nicole.
the kids would have no idea.
It's Nicole that got me. If she wouldn't
My
have
bad.
made her face, she was off camera, it would have been fine. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, there was some guards news. Not as much as we wanted coming out of the winter meetings. Obviously we wish there was a little bit more action there, but we did sign pitchers and we drafted pitchers, and more pitchers. So we signed right-handed pitcher Colin Holderman. Previously, where was he? I was literally just looking this up. Pittsburgh. He was in Pittsburgh, did not have the best year last year, but previous years was average to above average. So obviously the guards looked at him and said, we can fix him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw last year he had like a 7 ERA across 25 innings, but that was such an outlier compared to the rest of what his stats looked like. So I'm not too worried right now. We'll see what our pitching staff does. I have the ultimate faith in our pitching staff. So if they can't fix him, no one can, is what is of my belief. So we'll see how it goes come spring training.
Carl Willis is the rugged, small town chap that fixes the busy businesswoman from the inner city just in time for the Christmas spirit.
This is a Hallmark movie starring Carl Willis and Colin Holderman.
I'd watch.
I can fix this. I can fix your slider. No, you can't. You just gotta trust me. Oh, sorry, went too far.
You just gotta believe.
So yes, so we've got him. I think he's got upsides. So we'll see what Carl can do with him, and we'll see how he looks in spring training and in the early part of the year. Rule 5 draft also happened. One thing is that we did not lose anybody, so that's kind of nice. We don't have to part with anyone. We don't have to say goodbye to anybody. And we picked up 2 more right-handed pitchers. Peyton Palette. Someone correct my pronunciation there. And then Jack Carey. So it looks like Jack is going into being assigned to the Clippers. I don't see where Peyton is being assigned.
Okay,
yet.
I thought that so when you draft the player through Rule 5, don't they need to stay on your 26 man the whole year or else
Only
go
the major league draft. There is a minor league draft where they're
Okay.
drafted directly to AAA. So
Okay.
Jack is directly to the AAA.
Most likely Peyton also.
No, Peyton is in because you can only pick one per round, I'm pretty sure. So
Oh.
Peyton is major league. You don't have to draft anyone. If you choose to draft anyone, you can only draft one per round. So Peyton will be on the 26 man.
Okay, it does say Cleveland Guardians purchased the contract of Peyton in the Rule 5 draft. So, all right, good to know.
So Peyton is here for the season.
Or
if we
gone.
put him on the roster after spring training, yes. That happened with who did
The
'cause we-
other
Dave
De Los
Santos.
Santos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because we had a guy. Was it this past spring training or was it 2 years ago that
2 years ago. The
we had
year
a
of
guy in spring
Esteban
training?
Florio.
Yes. We decided not to put him on the roster, so we lost him, and then he proceeded to do decently.
elevation's a thing.
Oh yeah, because he was at the Rockies, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was playing in Reno, I want to say. So
Well, and we took him straight from Double A, so to expect him to be good on the major league roster wasn't, I don't think, fair to put on his shoulders. But anyway,
So yeah, that was our Rule 5 draft. That's what's happened this past week. Oh, also, two other things. Not those weren't the only things, but those are the only pickups that we had. But it was dropped that there was a secret Stephen Vogt contract extension signed after the end of last season. Guardians never announced it, which, going back, they never really announced Tito's extensions either. They just kind of Tito just kept showing up. He was just always there until he wasn't.
and to clarify, when we say last season, we don't mean this most recent season. We mean 2024.
Yeah. After his first season, they're like, nope, this is our guy. And they
so he has
re-signed him.
one season. It goes phenomenally. He says, I want to do this forever, signs an extension, and is immediately rewarded with the season from hell. Like, I do wonder if he ever regretted that. Congratulations on winning Manager of the Year. Your reward is 2 of your pitchers are throwing non-strikes on purpose.
Yeah, seriously. Like,
You will
poor
have the
Vogt.
worst offense in the league.
And yet
Thank you.
still managed
Still
to turn
win the
them around.
division.
Still managed to win the division, still managed to win Manager of the Year for the second year in a row. Yeah, pretty
Yeah, the
crazy.
Guardians look real smart now, don't they? Good for them. Good for them.
Tricky
I do
Chris.
wonder what the point of not announcing it is, because I feel like nothing bad comes out of announcing it. So I wonder what the reasoning was.
Like that we don't know the details, because I was kind of waiting for them to announce an extension this season, only because I was afraid that his contract being up would inevitably be part of the storyline or part of the conversation surrounding the team, no matter what position they're in late August, that Vogt's contract expiring, which would be something that weighs on everybody. So I like that there was an extension. I almost like that now we never have to worry about it ending because nobody knows. That's kind of fun and sneaky.
It's nice having a little bit of a guessing game. Is he here for 3 years? Is he here for 5 years? Is he here for life? Who knows?
I mean,
Is there a mutual option every single year? Could he just go whenever?
I think also it just shows you the trust that the front office has in Vogt, that he, this is our guy. We're going to stand by him. And also, we're not going to make this, like you were saying, this isn't going to be a storyline now. This is not something that anybody is going to be able to talk about because they don't know.
I was going to say, not to bring it down in tone, but I wonder if how much of this is intentional on Vogt's behalf. I could understand why people wouldn't want to open themselves up to rabid, angry fans, just, know how much they make and do the whole DM them and their families BS and, oh, you get paid this much, you're here for this many years, this is what you're doing, you're stupid, that kind of stuff. So I could see it being intentionally kept secret. Vogt seems pretty closed off.
And I do think, they're pretty intentional about what they do let us know. They trusted people enough to let the extension be public, but they very clearly omitted the details for a reason. So they knew what they were doing when they made that announcement. Or not even an announcement, really. I don't think it was an announcement. It was just by the way.
It was a footnote in an article that somebody wrote about.
I can't even remember what article it was, but it was just
it was
a
about,
random paragraph in it.
It was about the Brewers manager.
Because
it was about Pat Murphy because he had also, he has not been extended. So he's, I don't know exactly. I don't know if he started the same year that Vogt started.
I think he did, because that's the year Craig Counsell left, and Counsell was rumored to be he interviewed in Cleveland, and
they're literally in the same exact path. They were signed the same year. They both won Manager of the Year in their first year. They both won Manager of the Year in their second year. And I think dropping that information was literally just, okay, well,
your
because
turn.
Where's the other one?
Well, we've long said that Milwaukee is the Cleveland of the NL. So no one's ever said that, actually.
But it does give that vibe. It does.
Yeah, it tracks.
I would absolutely agree with that statement. So yes, congratulations to Vogt.
Brother. The parallels run deep. I said they both have a Churio brother.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They both have a Great Lake.
We got to make a list of all the connections. I feel like there's more.
I'm sure there is.
The
That's
vibes, the
yeah.
the
I mean,
breweries,
Nicole,
the
you were
beer.
at a Brewers game last year, weren't you? This past year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, last year, 24, when Cleveland was playing in
harassing
Milwaukee.
Jackson.
Little
Yeah.
known fact, like underground connection here that a lot of people might not know about. They both manage a baseball team, actually.
Huge.
Big news.
All right.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. I would have never guessed that.
I was taking a drink of my hot chocolate when you said that, and it took everything in me not to just die right here.
Oh no, please don't die.
To
I'm
choke
good now.
yourself.
All good here. It's just the
Death on the
timing.
pod would really.
Just a death on the pod. Death by hot chocolate.
That's one way to end a season.
R.I.P. Ash. Oh. And the last thing we wanted to chat about before we get into the main topic, World Baseball Classic is coming up this spring. And we have a couple confirmations that Bazana will be playing for Australia. Both the Nailers will be playing for Canada. A possibility, maybe, that Sobrowski and Cade will be playing. We have yet to hear confirmation. We just hear rumors. So no confirmation yet on those two, but possible. And then also it's been announced that Jose is intending to play for the Dominican. Doesn't sound like it's been officially announced yet because Nicole, who were you saying? Machado and
Um, com
Caminero.
Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are also intending to play or confirmed to play for the Dominican. And 3 third basemen is a lot. So we'll see, something to keep an eye on as that develops, and see who else possibly from our team and around the league who will be playing.
I do think the Dominican Republic is going to be able to put together a good enough team that you could just do oops all third basemen and the defense won't matter. They'll just hit.
That's fair. That's a possibility.
Now, although all these pitchers we've picked up in the last couple weeks make a lot of sense to me, I wish I had looked up beforehand how many innings Cade Smith and Eric Sobrowski threw in spring training last spring. Because my only concern I would have with those guys pitching is that they are going to be a huge part of this bullpen. I think Cade led the league or was close to leading the league in innings pitched in relief or appearances this year. And I just wonder if the World Baseball Classic would impact that in any way. Is this just going to be an extended springs training, or is that going to limit what we get from them regular season?
I think I can give some answer on that. I don't think Sobrowski pitched in spring training. If I remember, he was injured.
He was injured, yeah.
And then Cade was very, very limited because it was a topic of conversation. Like Cade and Clase did not pitch until like halfway through spring training because
So I wonder how much concern that is then, and is that why our early season moves have all been pitchers? And I mean, I doubt the World Baseball Classic is the only reason we did that, but just an interesting series of announcements and pieces of news.
No, that's a very good point. And on, personal news, I doubt Sobrowski's gonna play. He announced on Instagram he's having play in the World Baseball Classic, I should say. He announced on Instagram they're having a baby, and I'm pretty sure he said it was due in like January. So I don't think he's
More
gonna.
guards, babies. We love it.
But yeah, Cade. If I remember spring training, Bo said that he wasn't worried about Cade fixing or working on anything. He knew he was gonna have to pitch a lot of. He didn't know how much he was gonna have to pitch. He didn't know about Class A, obviously. But yeah, Cade definitely was held back in spring training so that he could go longer into the postseason should it be needed. So that's a great point, Allie. That was a great point.
I say that
was also my first thought as soon as it was announced that he was playing was, oh boy, that's going to hurt in July. Anyway.
I mean, we now also know that Cade is our closer. Like going into next year. Last year, we thought he was going to be the setup man, or the first guy out of the pen, depending on what the situation called for. So it definitely a different outlook on his innings and number of pitches that will be thrown next year compared to this year, because he was just kind of tossed into that role haphazardly. And I mean, we're lucky that we had a second closer just hanging out in the bullpen ready to go.
Even personal stuff aside, I just remembered Sobrowski's had Tommy John like 2 or 3 times already.
Jesus Christ, has he
Oh
seriously?
yeah, you're
So he
right.
got drafted, had Tommy John. We picked up in the Rule 5 draft, got Tommy John. And then he was down with inflammation at the end of last season, going into spring training or going into this season. So yeah, Sobrowski, if you're listening, please don't.
Please don't play.
Seriously. Oh my
All for
God.
Canadian
No.
pride, though. I mean,
Go
Go
support
and
have
your
hang
to,
out in the
team.
bullpen. Just
yeah,
Go
just go
yap.
yap a little.
yes.
Put him in a booth.
Oh my
Put him in a booth with
God.
a microphone.
That'd be fun. He could be the color commentator.
I'd listen.
I would absolutely listen.
That would be such a show.
That'd be hysterical. I'm here for it. You know who else would be fantastic in the booth? Austin Hedges.
I knew you were
I
gonna
was gonna say,
that.
let me guess.
I was literally thinking of people too. It's like, who would be good in the booth?
So they did actually an on-field interview during this year. Well, not he wasn't Hedgie was on field. It was during pregame, but it was one of the games that Kipnis was doing the pregame with Kaylee Griffin, which, by the way, fantastic combo. Like normally I don't think of the people who are color commentating or doing the pregame or doing the postgame. Like love Matt Rick, not Matt Rick and Andre. Zero problems there. But when Kaylee was on screen or on the field, she did such a fantastic job. Like just the ultimate professional. And I'm hoping that she'll be back next year. Anyways, moving on. Kaylee and Kip were doing the pregame and Hedgie was mic'd up. And the rapport that Hedgie had with Kip just made me wish we had gotten Hedgie earlier and Kip would have stayed later. Like I
They totally would have been besties.
need to see them
100%.
together.
That makes me a little bit not sad that Kip's doing the sports media route because I think he's good at it and I enjoy having him around. But they could be on a coaching staff together. Kip could join our coaching staff this year. Like we could still have that.
We
Kip's just
could.
chosen to go a different direction where he kind of has to be businesslike a little bit.
I love that he's doing it with us, though.
Yes.
Me too.
He's
Yeah, at
doing it.
least he
He's
stayed
also doing
around.
it. He's doing it with the Cubs a little bit also last season.
We don't need to talk
Um,
about that.
I know. I know.
Well,
He
this is a little bit of a
Chicago
sidebar.
boy.
Not that you meant to have this conversation, but I thought it was interesting that the broadcast, I feel like, never had a regular lineup last year. Like they were putting people on vacation, like
They were.
rotationally.
They were
Um,
forcing people out on vacation for, and so then remember this was MLB took over our broadcast this year.
yeah.
So
And
I'm
I love
wondering.
work-life balance. That's awesome. It just felt like it was rare that we ever had the
Yeah.
full normal team. And the guest appearances were great. I liked it. It was just a strange the amount of fluctuation there was there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's like an MLB thing. If anyone else from another team is listening to this, let me know. I'm really curious to hear if your MLB run team was also like this, where you had about a dozen or so people on post game and in booth during games. Because yeah, I agree with you. It did feel like it wasn't years past. It was always Matt, Rick, Andre, Al, and Jensen in pregame and postgame. It was very regular. We knew exactly who we were getting. It was weird when one of them took a vacation. But this year, yeah, it was definitely like, oh, Al's on vacation for this road trip, or Rick stayed home this road trip. Like, it's very weird.
Anyway,
But
was that all a segue to Austin Hedges, or is that not where we were going?
I mean, that was low key, yeah, what I was trying to do
Yeah.
there.
It was smooth until we derailed it.
So ultimately, this episode to round out the end of the year, since there wasn't a ton of guards news, we wanted to talk a little bit about our favorite players. Not like we don't in the rest of the season, but really take time to appreciate the guys who made us love this team and love baseball. So I won't go first. I won't bore you all with my hedgy spewing, if you will. But who would like to go first and talk about, just give us a little bit about, who's your favorite player? Why do you like them? What got you into it? Blah, 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 that kind of thing.
I can go first. Oh
Yeah,
no.
no,
Okay.
no. You go first.
Always how it happens. I
Okay.
should have
Every
said
time.
somebody.
Put him on the
well,
spot.
I think it's also fun. We didn't talk about which players we're discussing each, other than we know Meg, Scott, Austin Hedges.
Yeah, duh.
And I wasn't sure who to pick, so I kind of went with the running bit and chose Brian Rocchio. I hope that doesn't ruin it for anyone else. And I think that he's an interesting one to talk about because I think he's poised for hopefully a big year upcoming. I'll get into it a little, but I think the organization is expecting a big year from him. And to be honest, I don't even know. I think the aura farming might be the reason that he became my favorite player. Like it's working. Like he's farming for the aura and I'm falling for it a little bit. And he's got little doe eyes, and every time he messes up, I'm like, oh, he's just a baby, you know?
He just has naturally like very sad eyes. So when he's
Yeah.
not smiling, he just looks like a little puppy dog that
Yeah.
like
And it's impossible to be disappointed in him because you're like, look, he's already so disappointed in himself. But and I don't know how in depth we want to go with all of this, but I do think the interesting thing with Brian Rocchio is that he was sort of our first highly regarded shortstop prospect since Lindor left. And so I think there's always been an amount of pressure that has been put on his shoulders to live up to that comparison. And when he was so in the after the 20 or before the 2024 season, he was ranked as the Guardians' number one overall prospect. And in the Athletics write-up about that, he was the number 13th overall prospect in baseball, number one for the Guardians. The end of the Athletics little blurb on that was that his presence should bring some relief in the wake of losing Francisco Lindor. And I remember when that came out, when those rankings came out, everyone was like, are we sure? Is he our number one overall prospect? That seems a little inflated. And so I think that alone just put so much pressure on him. And then when you combine that with the fact that him and Gabriel Arias have had parallel career trajectories, they've almost always been in competition with each other. I think there's just always been this level of survival mode or pressing that has to happen for Brian Rocchio. And for some reason in the 2024 postseason, he let go of all of that and became a playoff hero. And I thought that was so beautiful of him to do. And I was just looking at some stats. Brian Rocchio puts up a better slash line in the MLB postseason than he did in any other level of baseball ever professionally. I didn't go beyond into his childhood. I don't know. But Brian Rocchio is a playoff riser. And for that reason, I'm so happy we have him. And the other thing that I think is interesting is Stephen Vogt did a press conference earlier this week where he said, you're going to see Brian play a lot of shortstop. Gabby will play elsewhere just to be ready for it. And that is very interesting to me. One thing I'm going to do is read between the lines. I do think so. They started this season with Brian at shortstop and Gabby at second. That never really made sense to me because the one thing about Gabriel Arias is that he has a much better arm throwing across the diamond. So I really think him at shortstop made a little more sense. Don't know why they didn't do that to start the year. And then obviously Brian struggled. They sent him back to AAA. When they called him back up, they switched places. Brian at second, Gabby at shortstop. I thought both players played better baseball when they were in that configuration. They both just looked a little more comfortable. It was Brian's first time playing second base. He made a few errors, but he looked really good. That being said, I sort of thought moving into the future that that's what we would see. Now Vogt is telling us the opposite, and what I am going to do is read way too heavily into what he said and what he didn't say, that Brian is most likely going to be our opening day shortstop. Gabby is going to play elsewhere. What this means to me is that Brian Rocchio is the organization's plan at shortstop for the long-term future. We are going to be aggressive with Travis Bazzana, or we are going to acquire someone else to play second base. And that might be a very hot take. But when Stephen Vogt was talking about Gabby is just going to play elsewhere just to be ready, that was a little too non-committal for me. And so that I think is an interesting thing to keep an eye on. I think Brian Rocchio is poised for a big season. And unfortunately for him, if he doesn't have a big season, we're probably talking about nearing the end with him as well. So that's my spiel on Brian Rocchio. If anyone wants to chime in, feel free.
I like it. No, I've said in the past that I can totally see Brian Rocchio making that jump and getting a gold glove at some point. And I think Short's a great stuff. I think you're so right. You said before that you wouldn't be surprised if Arias really didn't stick around on this team till the end of next season. And I think that kind of shows that Arias is really on his last strike when it comes to his role on this team. But also reminder, if they're really not going to go out and get another bat, Arias has played right field. So he has a cannon. They might be using him and keeping Kfis at first to have Manzo be exclusively DH.
See,
Fry's
well,
coming
and I'm
back into
so
field.
happy you said that because we have so many utility. Now, this is a team full of utility players. If Oak could put a utility player in every single spot in the lineup, I'm sure he would. But I don't know, having Fry back healthy, Schneemann who can bounce around, Kafis who can bounce around. I don't know. I don't see it fitting. I sound like such a hater, and I really don't mean to. Now, because I said all that, Brian Rocchio is getting traded in the next 48 hours. Like, if that happens, it's my fault.
No,
But
I don't see that happening at all. Not with Vote just glowing about him.
Oh,
Not when we
and
don't
now
have a
because I
shortstop
said
to
that,
come up.
I want to give a shout out to Mel and Michael Cheney on Twitter because you guys are the OG Brian Rocchio fans. And not that I'm super into fan gatekeeping and I was a fan first and I liked these players better. They never wavered in their faith of Brian Rocchio throughout all of his relative failures in the 2024 regular season, even before that. So shout out to the original Brian Rocchio fans. I feel like I stole their thunder a little bit. Now I'm acting like I'm the first person to ever that's not the case. I know. I'm not. I'm not the OG Brian Rocchio fan.
I was gonna say, I feel like Rocchio, like when him and Arias were fighting for the shortstop spot, I feel like he caught a lot of unwarranted strays and like just was not very well liked by the fan base.
I
So
feel like they both did.
I'm glad that we ride so hard for him here because he deserves it.
Yeah, I really think they both played better in the second half of 2025 when they were just both everyday players and there was
Yeah.
no the two of you are fighting for time.
hmm
I mean,
And
you can
it's
see the growth and the strides that Rocchio is making as like the year goes on. When he got sent down, that could have easily been something that like he, pouted about and got upset about and, did but no, he went down there, he tried and he came back better for it. Like,
And you don't see that often,
yeah, exactly.
especially with players of his caliber. Like you don't see that often, and he did everything that he was supposed to do better.
Agree. But yeah, we will see where 2026 brings Brian and I'm hopeful and excited because October is fun, man. He makes the playoffs
Listen,
He makes
fun.
the playoffs fun,
he won me
100%.
over with emptying the moment he emptied out his locker.
oh, see, I wrote that
Locker
down
gate.
too.
When he's just a clean type of guy.
That's what I think
Does.
really did it for me. I was like, this guy's a weirdo. I think I
Yeah,
love him.
he's just out
I
here
had a bad day. I'm
absolutely
gonna clean out
trolling
my
us.
locker.
He's
And no
got
one ever said
massive.
anything about it.
No, it's just there was a little
I had a
note
bad
by
day.
Mizell, right? It was Zach
Yeah,
that
Meisel
did it.
tweeted it.
Yeah, and the fandom just ran with it, and they're like, "He's gone, hug watch." Nope.
And then
It's
there's no follow-up. There's like no confirmation that Brian Rocchio has not been sent down. It's just he shows up and plays the game the next day, and we're like, oh, he just stress cleans, I guess.
So true, bestie.
We've
He's
all
just
been
like
there.
me.
See, that's where I think I get in trouble because my favorite player is never going to be the best player. It's going to be the player who does the most interesting shit off the field. Am I allowed to
Yeah.
say that? Oops.
Rocchio embodies like middle-aged mom of two when it comes to his off-field habits, and I love him. Love that for him.
which is funny because to me he exudes such little brother energy.
Yeah.
Like the
Both.
way him and Jose, the way they interact, like Jose is like absolutely not get away from me, and he's just and Rocchio's just like you like
Yeah. I wish we could plug that clip this year when some reporter is asking Brian about Jose and Brian Rocchio's words were, some day he's really nice and other days he just says, Rocchio, shut up. That's the exact energy they
I
give.
figured it out
Exactly.
because like on hills like that with Rocchio. So Rocchio's just the middle child. That's the problem.
Oh, that is.
That
He
makes so
is.
much
Yep.
sense.
Nope. I'm changing my stance. He's a
So
middle
much
child.
sense.
Yep. You've convinced me, Nicole.
Cleans out the locker for attention. Very
You know what's so funny is ever since Ali said Rocchio's name this sunglasses picture has just been in my head. Like that's all I'm seeing this entire
That's
time is just
because
the sunglasses
that's the
picture.
perfect embodiment.
Like that's
Why
just
are you
who
doing
he
an eyes
is.
closed activity with sunglasses on? Anyway,
And just those ridiculous like gas station sunglasses. I don't even know, man.
They
Where
were
that
no more than
he
$5.
wore them for a
Like,
single game too. They showed
The
up for
fact that there's a
one
gas
game.
station like across the street from the stadium has
No,
me fully convinced he had to run over there and get
absolutely
them.
lost his sunglasses and was like, "Oh shit, it's fucking sunny outside." Ran across the street, and Jose is sitting there like, "What the hell, dude?" Like, yeah, absolutely 100% amazing.
this is canon in my eyes that that's
Truly.
exactly what happened.
Oh, God bless Ryan Rocchio. We love you, sweet boy. I hope you're listening. I hope
Known
that
podcast
he
listener.
also did post a video of himself working out the other day. I know there's been some speculation that he hasn't been doing enough of it.
he's not
But he
just
did. There's evidence.
streaming video games on TikTok.
He
Hey,
did
the
hit the
video
gym
games
once.
are working out the mind, okay? It's
Yeah.
helping his problem-solving skills and his hand-eye coordination.
Hey, and this is just a broader standpoint. If we have time to go on the internet outside of our day jobs to talk about our favorite baseball players, then our favorite baseball players have time outside of their day jobs to do what they like to do for fun. For Brian
Absolutely.
Rocchio to be
They're
a
not baseball 100% of the time. It's fine. All
Anyway,
right.
So,
Next, Nicole, would you like to
can
wax
we cue
poetic?
can we cue the sad violin noises?
Wah, wah.
So, as many people know, my favorite player is Will Britton, and I've been big emotional about this off season because, after he went down with after Nolan Jones was traded to Cleveland from Colorado, I crashing out to Quincy was just like, I don't think I'll ever see Brendan play in a Cleveland uniform again, which I did get to see him play in a Cleveland uniform. His game back. I was planted firmly in right field along the right field line, shouting at him. Saw him almost hit a home run, and I legitimately almost passed out. So kind of glad he didn't hit a home run. But no, it's sad. It's sad that I probably likely will never see him play in a Cleveland uniform again, and there's looking like might not ever see him play in a uniform, period. And it's making me sad. I need someone with a cool jersey design or a cool City Connect to pick him up so I can buy a jersey, please. Thank you. But no, Braden became because like before that, my first favorite player, 'cause like I've said before, I'm kind of a new baseball fan relative to most people, was Kipnis. I just
Same.
remember hearing about him when he made his debut and all of that. But yeah, so like my first favorite player that like I followed from the minor leagues up was that class of the 21 Rubber Ducks. So Bo, Quan, Schneeman, Andrew Monasterio, who's now with the Brewers. Like there's just a whole bunch of them that I've kind of kept a Richie, of course, my boy Richie. And it was the walk-off 14th inning Pride Night against the Astros that kind of sealed the deal for with Brennan for me. And yeah, I really enjoyed watching him play. I know that's not a sentiment shared by the majority of fans. He, to
Through
me, was a
them.
very reliable hitter in terms of getting on base. I think that was something that was kind of overlooked a lot of times. He would always end up in the 260s on batting average, which boomer speaks on batting average. He didn't have the power, which was a shame because he's built for you would expect him to have the power with how he's built, and did look like he was doing a lot to get that power back when he was playing in AAA, was sent to AAA to start last year, and then with the Tommy John kind of just derailed all progress he had on that. But at a certain age, they always say certain plate appearances, they always say you kind of know who a hitter is and they really can't change. But I enjoyed watching him play. I thought, he came up in really fun moments. He was probably the most consistent batter you'd ever see. He'd have 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and you would expect a 300 in May and June, just enough to give you your hopes up. Only for him to slump all of summer and then come back in September and then disappear in October. I knew who he was as a player, but he still just was the couple times I've met him at Guards Fest and met him on the sidelines. He signed a baseball card for me. He was just a really nice person and always good with the crowd and good with fans. So I miss him. Gonna
Fair.
miss my boy.
Also, at one point, walked up to a Quinn 92 song, so he has good taste in music. I'll miss that about him.
He did. This is the first year his walk-up song was not in my YouTube Wrapped, which, obviously
Because he
since he
didn't do
wasn't
a whole
playing.
lot of walking up, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
When I mean, he had the Tommy John. Do we know how long that issue had been bothering him?
It was a very specific throw in the Friday game of the Reds. It was not
Okay.
long.
Okay.
He felt something when he made a crazy throw in from right field to home. I think he got the runner out or was damn near close. It was one of his, like, that's one of the things I always like going back and watching him. Just he would be in the corner back against the wall and throw in a snipe because if for those who weren't aware, he pitched in college. And something I always gushed about, and, he wasn't like the greatest defender ever, but one thing is like, if he was throwing into second, he was throwing to third, he was throwing home, the person he was throwing to did not have to move. There was no adjustment they had to make, especially if you watch like him and Jimenez. Jimenez would just stand there, glove out, and the ball would be there. There was no having to dive out. Like if Jimenez needed to plan up, have a foot on base, and to make that catch, could. He didn't have to really track the ball. And yeah, so it was just a specific. I think if I recall the articles and stuff that came out, 'cause there wasn't much coverage after he went down for Tommy John. Was that it was just one throw in during that Cincinnati series. And he knew something was off, and then yeah.
That's what sucks so bad is that's one thing I always did like about him is if the ball went to him, I knew that he was getting the ball to where it needed to go almost
hmm
perfectly, like as perfect as he could get it. That's one thing that really is just it sucks about that loss.
And part of his issue with his defense, he always tried to make the play. You'll see a lot of outfielders will like let the ball bounce. He would always try to slide in, make the play, which had a lot of its faults. That's where he had that huge error in the ALCS in 24. You know, when you're sliding to try to make the play, if you don't get it, you look a fool. And so there's been a lot of times where he looked a fool, but there's been plenty of times where he's made a catch, like a crazy catch. I think in 24 it was against the Oakland Athletics. He made a crazy catch, and like I just remember he like posted on his story, it was like how not to make a catch because that's when he injured his side. It was either 23 or 24 he did that.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, he would always slide in and try and make the catch. I hope if he doesn't end up playing somewhere, I do hope someone picks him up. Obviously, I'd like to watch him play a little bit more. Kind of hoping, not so much for him, but I hope the Rockies pick him up because we're going to Denver this year for our away game trip. So I think that'd be kind of fun if he ends up out there back with T Free. T Free really be reunited. Hashtag for the ladies. But I do hope if he does end up coaching. I think he'd be a half decent outfield coach, But yeah.
I just wish our right field wasn't such a jumbled mess because I still have a hard time believing he couldn't help there. There's just no direction, and I don't think he was a bad player.
Yeah,
How long is he going to
was
be out
average.
for with this? Is
He
he going to be
should
out all season or is it just like half?
No, he should be back hitting. He had the sports hernia injury that he had to have surgically repaired. But after that, I think he should be looking at other timetables. He should be back hitting like not batting practice, the live pitching
Live
in
people.
like January, February, and he
Oh,
should be
okay.
back fielding by May.
Oh,
Because
nice. Okay. For some reason, I thought he had like full on Tommy John again. Like,
he had full Tommy John surgery in June.
oh,
And
okay.
so
That
it's
was
about
back
a
in
year
June.
before you can start
Got
fielding
it.
again.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, he should be
Man, has
back.
he
It's
been out
that's
that long? Jeez.
yeah. That's what kind of sucks is that he got released by the one team probably who would have paid to keep him on long enough to recover.
Yeah,
And
that's a bummer. I mean, they must be, wanting to fill that hole in some way with somebody else since
yeah,
because normally, like you said, I mean, how many guys did we pay last year to rehab? Bieber, Means, Henches.
Sam, yeah, Trevor, Stefan.
So
Yeah, like
many.
at least four people were on our roster last year, just pure rehabbing. Like, then again, they're all pitchers. I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Probably.
and they just can't afford to have an outfielder, a fielder, batter
Listen,
taking
all
up
I'm
that
saying,
spot.
Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones, hear my words. You better step up.
My boy has been sacrificed for you. Make it worth it.
Exactly.
Nolan Jones always has that one play every like 3 weeks. This is like, okay, now he's going to keep playing for the next three.
This is
Yep.
why we have been watching Gabriel Arias and Nolan Jones play baseball for the last, I want to say 2 years, but there was a hiatus with Nolan Jones. But they both do that. They both are just bad for a couple weeks and then good enough for a stretch that you have to keep them around.
And it's
Gab-
funny because I feel like Brendan does fit that criteria too. It's just
I have to
like
respect that play style. Like, I have to respect it. It's like they know they're on the hot seat. Like I'm gonna hit this incredible, whatever it may be, or this defensive play that's like game changing, and call it a day.
There's value in that sometimes, I guess.
I could set a clock to Brendan slumps. Like I would tell Brian, I
Literally,
was
you
like,
could.
oh, I'm like, oh, we've got like two more at bats, and then he's going back to slump time. Like you could just watching his like highlights and all of that as many times I've had, I could just pick up when he was like, oh, well, no longer hitting. Okay, get ready, just strikeouts again or ground to second.
Well, hopefully someone will pick him up because I think he'll be a good, bench guy, platoon dude for some team out there, I'm sure. When it comes down to it, there are only so many major league level baseball players that are available
Hmm.
and who will actually perform and be at least semi-consistent. There are worse guys on teams currently.
Agreed.
That's just the beginning and end of it. So I have to imagine someone's going to pick him up and take the chance on him. Fingers crossed it's a team that we can happily root for.
Mm-hmm. Or at least has a good uniform.
All right. Madeline, would you like to go next?
I would love to go next. So obviously everybody knows who my favorite player is. Oh, he's on my background, that guy. Sorry, I don't know how my hands work here. Nick Wickren is my favorite player of all time. But I already did a whole episode about Nick Wickren, so I will not bore you all with that again. So my other favorite player is Eli Morgan. And he also does not play
Eli.
for us anymore, and he hasn't for a year.
I'm so
But
happy you said that because someone suggested we bring him back. I don't know what the logistics of that are at all. Anyway, go.
I will get to that, trust me.
She's like, it is in my
It's on
notes.
the agenda.
It is on the agenda, yes. So my story with Eli begins in early 2021, early in the season. I was in college. It was my second year of college, I think. And I was just super busy with school, super busy working, and I just didn't watch a lot of baseball at that time. And so one day I was sitting on campus and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting back into it. Like I'm watching baseball every day. Like I just got to get back into it. So I do. And the first game that I watch after I have that epiphany is one of Eli's starts because he was a starter back then. And I see him on the mound and I'm like, who is this little guy? He looks so sweet, so kind, so pure. And so I just like immediately latched onto him from that moment and I was correct. He is sweet and nice and pure. So I don't know. I just like kept watching him, and it really became my brand on Twitter. Like everybody, whenever they saw anything Eli related, they'd tag me, and that like I love when that happens because it just warms my heart. But
There's nothing better than being tagged about your favorite player.
exactly.
Correct.
Like
Like
Especially
that's
if
my
that player
brand.
no longer plays for you. That's when
Yeah,
it hits so much better.
yeah. But the climax of the story is on my 21st birthday, I went to a Guardians game and I told my parents like all I wanted for my birthday that year was tickets by the bullpen because at this point he was in the bullpen and wasn't a starter anymore. And well, actually, I'm gonna go back. I forgot part of the story. So in 2021, that summer, I went to Wrigley Field with my best friend to see the Guards play the Cubs, and I was really there to see Nick Wickren. Like I saw him. We went to two games. So the first game I saw Nick, we talked and everything, and then the second game we sat like right on top of the Guardians bullpen, and like 5 minutes before the game starts, Eli comes out of the bullpen and he looks up at the bleachers and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's Eli. Like, how do I tell him he's my favorite without being weird because he has 5 minutes until he goes on the mound and pitches for my team. But anyways, he looks up at me and he goes, "Do you know what time it is?" I'm like, "What?" But anyways, I think it was like 6:03 or something like that. So I told him, I'm like, it's 6:03. He's like, cool, thanks. And just leaves. I'm
And you
like,
didn't say,
okay.
and you're my favorite player.
I didn't get it out. He had to go.
He threw you a lob and you let it go.
I know, I did. And I
That
never
is
forgot it.
that is full-blown Mean Girls.
Yes,
It's
that's what I
October
was
3rd.
thinking.
I made a meme about it. I
Recap.
made a meme about it where I photoshopped his face onto Aaron Samuels and I said, it's 6:03.
Oh,
I'm glad you did that.
beautiful.
Anywho, that was my first encounter with Eli. My second encounter with Eli was my 21st birthday. I asked my parents to get me bullpen tickets, and I had gone down to the dugout before the game because I've always had success meeting players there. And he comes walking out of the bullpen. They're their little ducks in a row walking from the dugout to the bullpen. And I see him, and I'm like, I got my sign that says it's on my birthday list to meet him or whatever. And he looks at me and he points to the bullpen, and I'm like, what? Because at this point, like, I don't know if that means go to the bullpen, like I'll meet you there, or does this mean I'm sorry, I can't talk, I have to go to the bullpen? I thought it was the second option because the game was about to start. So anyways, I stand there for a few more minutes just in case he comes back or whatever, but that didn't happen. So I'm a little bit deflated. So I go back to my seats, and was friends with one of the team photographers at the time. Her name's Emily. And we were messaging back and forth. We wanted to see each other during the game. So she texted me before the game. She's like, "Hey, make sure that you're in your seat in the second inning. I want to come say hi to you." So I was like, "Okay." So I don't want to miss any of the game, so I'm going from the dugout to my seats in the bullpen. Second inning rolls around, Emily comes up and says hi. We hug each other and everything. And she tells me, she's like, "Hey, there's somebody here that wants to see you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she turns around and I look at the bullpen and Eli's standing right there. And I'm like freaking out at this point inside because I don't want to look stupid in front of my favorite player. But so I go over to the bullpen, and mind you, I'm not freaking out, but my mother is. She's got her phone out, she's taking pictures, she's like trying not to
Aw.
scream and all that. Um, but anyways, I got to see him. He signed my jersey and my sign for me, and we got pictures and everything. And he wished me a happy birthday, and he asked me if I had gone to the corner bar yet and all that. Um, so that was just so nice. And then as soon as he left the bullpen, I immediately bawled my eyes out because like I don't know, it was just really wholesome and so sweet that the team put this together for me, and it made me feel so special. So that's a day that I will never forget. And
Aw.
then the following year, at Guards Fest, my brother and we usually do one of the autograph sessions, so we did that and everything, met a few players. And then my brother was like, "Hey, like I'll buy one more if you want to do one more." I'm like, "Okay, might as well. Like we'll try to see if we can figure out who's in what one." And the guy in front of us in line, he's like, "Hey, who was in your session?" We're like, blah blah blah, and we're like, "Who's in yours?" He's like, "Oh, I think it was like Eli Morgan." We're like, "Got it, we're getting that one." So we bought tickets to that, and we ran over to that autograph session before it ended. And right as I was walking up to him, I was like, "Hi, Eli. Like, I don't know if you remember me." And he just immediately starts talking about my birthday and everything. And he's asking how we're doing and all that. And just another, like, obviously, the whole reason I like Nick is because he's so personable and so kind. And that's absolutely the reason I like Eli, too. Just, I don't know. They're both not very, I mean, they're not popular players at all. So it is very meaningful that they remember me and, take the time to talk to me every time I see them. So, and then the very dreaded November 20th, 2024, me and my then fiance were in the car driving to our wedding, and I start
Oh
receiving texts
no.
saying, "Are you okay? I'm so sorry," all that. I'm like,
Oh,
"What's going on? Like, did somebody die? What's happening?" And then I
not
check
driving
Twitter.
to your wedding.
Yeah, and I
That's
check Twitter,
devastating.
Oh,
and lo and behold, Eli Morgan has been traded to The Chicago Cubs.
Oh my God. I didn't
So
realize that was the day of your wedding.
it was not the day of my wedding. We were just driving down there that
Okay, well,
day.
still, oh
So
my God.
I got married 2 days later.
Still, still, like
Still,
this
it's
is,
weighing. It's like
Time to grieve.
it's just
Listen,
hanging
Yeah.
the week
there the
of
whole
is
time.
Yeah. Worst wedding present ever,
And to
actually.
all of
wow.
all teams too.
Honestly, yeah,
yeah.
That's
that
probably
was
the
a
worst part.
heartbreaker. Yeah. So yeah, I was not okay, but I was getting married, so I that kind
Had to
of
hold it
made up for it a
together.
little bit. So yeah, and then he's been injured like ever since basically, so he hasn't played very much, but he's a free agent.
I was gonna say he's a free agent, right?
He is a free agent. So
He's home.
if I know we just signed like 50 million pitchers, but if we need one
Make it
more, I
50
know a
million and
guy.
one.
Exactly.
Get Gub Gub back, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my silly little story about Eli and why he's my favorite.
Oh, sweet
My
Eli.
favorite Eli moments will always be, and you can't really find a good highlight of it because it's just the context of sitting through like a 2 hour rain delay. Runners on second, Eli comes in, and Hedges just pops the glove down. Eli whips around,
Oh,
throws the second, gets the
yes.
runner out. Oh,
I
Mm-hmm.
remember
I know
that.
Peggy cooked that up, but Eli executed perfectly,
He
and like
really
I
Yeah.
don't
did.
think another pitcher could have not sold it. Like
Hmm.
Eli was just his body language was just so relaxed and just
Yeah.
one of my favorite Eli Morgan moments.
Yeah. And like he wasn't bad. Like people
No,
like to shit on him, but he was not bad.
I've always thought so when he made his major league debut, was it 2021?
in the
It was, and that
monsoon.
was
I know,
also pouring down rain.
yes, and that was the year of cursed pitchers. I don't think they ever wanted to call him up that year, but I think we were on like our fourth starting pitcher call up of the year, something like that. And then he pitched that game that absolutely should not have happened.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a monsoon.
Complete monsoon wind conditions. And ever since then, I've thought somebody is actively trying to sabotage this man's career. And he bounced back. I mean, he didn't do well. I mean, nobody would. He was just a baby rookie, and the conditions were horrible. I don't know that they should have been playing. It wasn't a good game, but I do remember it kind of felt like he got better that year. And by the end of the season, it's like, wow, this dude really ate a lot of innings for us. Um,
No, it was
Hmm.
totally trial by fire because like he immediately just got better after that.
Yeah. And I've thought ever since that the Guardians owe him a shot at redemption. And I think there were moments where maybe he got it. Like he had a pretty good career as a relief pitcher here. But if he's a free agent and can't find anywhere to land, I think we owe him one last shot just because it was not fair to ask him to make his major league debut in such conditions.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
We will see where he lands. Again, hopefully it's with us. If not, hopefully it's a team that we can root for. And also he doesn't get injured again. I was just looking
Yeah,
at his
that's the
MLB
main
page.
goal.
He's been down since his last pitch was in April. Like
Mm-hmm.
dude,
Yeah.
It's been
dude
a
was out
while.
all
Yeah,
year.
Yep.
So
it was
hopefully he
bad.
can come back from that.
Carl, you can fix him.
Carl can fix anybody.
Exactly.
He is a magician.
No one I trust more, to be completely honest.
Truly, honest to God.
Like it does not matter what pitcher you bring in, what his ERA was last year, what his career ERA is. I was like, he's going to be a different pitcher here, and that's what I care about.
When I don't really even have any comments on the pitchers we talked about at the beginning of the episode, because if they sign a pitcher, I agree. Like, who am I to disagree
Yeah,
with
and
that?
until it doesn't work out, who am I to doubt? Because it's worked out so far, you know? Like, don't fix what's not broken.
And another thing about Eli was like he just needed to find his niche, because like
Mhm.
obviously he wasn't the best starter, but I mean, as soon as they put him in middle relief, he thrived. And like
Mm-hmm.
even honestly in high leverage situations in middle relief, he was really good.
He was a
So
half
I think,
decent opener too, if we
yeah,
needed an opener.
yeah. So I think like I don't know, he was really good under pressure, and
Can
the
I
Guardians
agree.
like to
Yeah, I
put
mean,
pressure
can
on
you
people. So
imagine poor shy Eli sitting next to Eric Zabrowski though?
No, I think they'd be really good friends. I think
yeah.
that would work.
The yin and yang.
Like, yeah, yeah.
they would balance each other out so well.
It would. See, he needs to come back.
He really
We're just
I'm on
does.
proving
board.
it
We
I'm
need
on
that
board.
balance in the bullpen. We
in
need
the
just that
force.
the calming energy of Eli Morgan.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh. All right, Ash, what do you got for us?
So I had to think about mine a little bit just because you asked me my favorite baseball player of all time. It's Jose Ramirez without a second thought, without hesitation. But I was like, I feel like that's such a basic answer. I said, I love you, Jose, but I need to think of somebody else. And
Well, and also we all know
we all love Jose.
Jose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's our guy. That's our guy. So my immediate next thought, and I think it's just justified because I tend to bring him up every episode that I've been on, Daniel Schneemann. I mean, I have this connection to average players who come up big in clutch situations. And I've always kind of I've loved his enthusiasm to play where he's needed. Doesn't matter. I mean, you could put him on the mound and he's going to do his damn best. Like, that's just who he is. You can throw him in anywhere and he's going to perform to whatever potential he can. And what really won me over, and it's actually super convenient because it was I think it was Sarah's, let me look. Yeah, Sarah's favorite 2025 moment was his grand slam against Toronto. And that's when he kind of won me over because we needed that, top of the ninth, we're down, you need that kind of momentum, that fire, that kick. And he was like, I got this. And multiple times he was that I got this guy. And I kind of just latched on to him. It's gotten to the point even two of my Mets friends have completely latched onto him. One of them has his jersey. Like, I've just been running this Daniel Schneemann fan club agenda for however
You're
many months.
growing the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, it started up almost.
Demons.
It started almost as a bit, like an average guy. I'm not going to pick the best guy as my favorite, and now he's just suddenly my favorite player.
Well, and once your family's a part of Guardians Twitter, you're here forever. Like,
yeah, that's
exactly.
Lock down the roster.
100%.
Shout out to Mama and Papa Schnee, and also Wifey Schnee. She's on there too. Sarah got a like on her video.
Listen.
Yeah, if you guys are listening, please tell your son he's my favorite. We admire him over here.
We love him.
I'm so with you on Schneemann. He is probably like when Brennan was down in AAA and then with injured, Schneemann became my muse. That's why I've written 4 articles about him this year on Covering the Corner. Everyone go read Madelyn there.
Yes.
Little plug. Love it.
Big piece coming out either this week or next, by the way.
Ooh, exciting.
Ooh. But 1,003rd overall draft pick, Schneemann. Like the round he was picked in doesn't not exist anymore.
It's so insane to think about.
Right?
If you think about how many of those 1,002 other draftees even made it to the league, the fact that he made it to the bigs and then has stepped up in every possible way, I could wax poetic about Daniel Schneemann and his work ethic. That man just wants to play ball, and when he can barrel. So season ticket holders can watch a batting practice once a year. And we happened to watch we're asked if we wanted to do the Dodgers. So we went and watched the Dodgers do batting practice, or the Guardians do the batting practice before one of the Dodgers games. And I just remember looking at my husband and just going, Shima's getting a home run tonight. He's barreling everything. He's hitting the sweet spot on everything. Sure enough, hit a 3-run home run to tie it with the Dodgers. We still lost, but it didn't matter because he hit a home run and it was great because it shut up the Dodgers fan behind me who was making fun of him. But man, no, Schneemann, fantastic. Great pick.
He's just, out of nowhere. It's just that Grand Slam really won me over. It's I think I knew in that moment, this is my guy going forward. And here I am to this day, running the fan club of 3 people currently, 1 out 4. But we're going to grow it. We're going to make this a thing.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a mini all-star campaign going for him at the beginning of the season when because the beginning of his season this year was good. He
started off
really,
Maryland. Yeah.
He really did. Yeah. Then he kind of floundered a little bit, but I think we all floundered a little bit come, I think it was May or something like that. It was not pretty.
Not the most fun time in the world.
No, 2026 is going to be different though. So yeah, great pick. We love Schneemann. He's fantastic. Well, I think we all know.
Who's your favorite player, Meg?
It's a mystery.
Hey,
Who could it possibly be?
You hate catchers. Specifically bearded catchers with long hair and piercing blue eyes. Meg, why do you hate
Slander? No, yes, we all know Austin Charles Hedges is my favorite player of all time at this point. I'm an old lady. I've had many favorite players. Carlos Baerga and Brad Daugherty were two of my OGs when I was a kid. Deep cut, but Richie Sexton,
Oh,
loved
wow.
him. Yeah, when I was probably about 8th grade. I think it was around then that he was with us. So he was my fave for a minute. Kip, obviously, another big fave. But yeah, I still remember it was, I think it may have been 21. Like, obviously, in 2020, I kind of knew, obviously, I knew who he was because of the trade. It was such a massive deal, but I wasn't really honed in on him yet. But there was this clip during 21 where they went to the dugout and he is literally headbanging in the dugout. And this is when he had like shoulder length hair and he also had an undercut. And dude is just throwing his head back and forth, full on headbanging, hair is going everywhere. And I'm like, who is he? What is happening? What is going on? I love this energy. I'm dedicating the rest of my life to you.
Well, now you're stuck with me. Shame.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, that's it. That's it. You have become mine. And there is no escaping this. So yeah, the I kind of knew at the end of the 22 season that he was gone when his contract was up. That postseason interview there was one of the most depressing interviews I have ever heard him give. Hedges stereotypically is high energy, super excited, like just a golden retriever on crack, constantly, always fully hyped up, excited about his boys. But that interview, if you look at the post game or the postseason interview after the last loss of 2022, he was super, super depressed. And he also was not referring to the team as us. He wasn't saying us. He wasn't saying mine. He wasn't referring to it as a possessive of his. It was they, it was them, it was the Guardians. He wasn't a part of the team anymore. And as soon as I finished that interview, I'm like, he's gone. He's not re-signing. And sure enough, Mike Zunino and Cam Gallagher became
Oh.
our catchers. I'm sorry
That
for
was the
this.
trenches. That was the trenches.
Yeah, that was not.
I've like blocked that out, and hearing
It's
those names just sent me back.
truly, truly. And we all know he went to Pittsburgh, was not well liked I don't know about the team. I don't know what the team felt about him, but the fans did not like him. They did not understand his value. They did not understand what he brought to a team. They just saw his numbers and decided that he was not good enough. And so again, that another like depressing moment when you watch him in some of those late June, July interviews. He also did not look happy, did not look excited. Was kind of bummed out. Rangers, obviously, completely different vibe. He kind of went to the Rangers with what looked like to me a renewed sense of excitement and fun. It felt like he was leaving a really bad situation in Pittsburgh and was determined to kind of leave that all behind, which is similar to how he felt going from the Padres to Cleveland, it sounds like, in other interviews that he's given, saying that the Padres, because he was drafted from his hometown team out of high school directly into his hometown team's minor league system. And he was I think he was a second round draft pick. And there was a lot of pressure put on him to be good, to be really kind of like their number one catcher, their starting catcher. So going from San Diego to Cleveland, he kind of made a mind shift, a mental shift as to how he was going to approach his play and how he behaves in the dugout and in the clubhouse.
He doesn't behave in the dugout.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's from what I've gleaned from his interviews over the past couple of years, this is a change that he specifically made kind of in how he approaches baseball and how he approaches his teammates and his coaches, and how like he specifically made himself the cheerleader. He's like, no matter what is going on, he's like, I need to make sure that these guys feel good, that we believe we can do anything that we put our minds to, that we believe that we are World Series winners, we are able to get there, and it will happen. And for the Rangers, that's the attitude he brought, and they did it. Like they fucking did it, man. So him coming back to Cleveland, I I do believe that I'm gonna put it out there that we are going to win a World Series soon-ish. There's a window. I see it in the future. And I do believe Hedgie is going to be on that team, whether as a player or as a coach. And he will be an integral part in bringing us that ring. But
I'm
yeah,
holding you to that. It is
I
legally
I was
binding.
gonna say too,
hold me.
he is the one player that I can almost say I'm 100% confident that he will not only return as a coach, but he will return as a Cleveland coach.
Yes,
I'm at
absolutely.
99% right now because there's always that 1%, but there's
He's
like no doubt in my mind that he will be back. He will be in the Cleveland dugout no matter what.
he is so bought in on Cleveland as an entity, not just the city, not just the team, just as a whole. He is bought in on Cleveland, and I 100% agree.
Cleveland is a
I
mindset to him, I feel like it's just how he exists.
Well, it's interesting because, he was born and raised in Southern California. He's a SoCal boy, but I learned that when he went to Pittsburgh, he was doing an interview and said that he has family in Pittsburgh. And I always thought that he was a, surfer guy in a Midwest body almost. Like he was the absolute ultimate like Cali and Ohio hybrid. And knowing that he has Midwest Rust Belt roots in, I think, his mom's side of the family, he said, absolutely made sense. I'm like, that's where it comes from. That's why he feels at home in Cleveland. I could tell that he wanted to feel at home in Pittsburgh. It just didn't. It just wasn't a fit, uh, organizationally or fan
from
wise. It
fans,
felt,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly,
feel like at this point in time, the last few years, that's been a really tough organization to be a
yeah.
part of at all in any aspect, fan or org itself, players. It's a tough situation all around there.
Yeah. And the one thing that I have always heard about Cleveland is that the organization itself treats its players really, really well, regardless of what we think as fans and how the front office operates or how ownership operates. Every single player that I've seen that has talked openly about it has always just said that the supportiveness, the org itself is really, really good to players. And obviously, Hedgie exudes that and talks about, how much he loves, like Nicole said, he re-signed, obviously, was the very first contract signing we did before the season was even over.
Hmm.
The like playoffs were still actively happening. World Series hadn't even happened yet. And we get the announcement that he's been re-signed and is coming back for another year. I don't ever remember that ever happening. I always assume free agency starts the like a day after the World Series ends. So to see that happen as baseball was still actively being played totally threw me for a loop. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I knew he was coming back because
Hmm.
his post game interview again, very different, very upbeat, very energetic, very we, very us. He was always talking. He talked about Cleveland as him, and that's how you can kind of tell if he plans on coming back or if there's a mutual agreement that he's going to sign.
I know
Um,
it's all semantics, but like, was that worded as he signed here as a free agent, or was it worded as a contract extension?
I think
It
it
was
was he
signing as a free agent.
signed here as a free agent because he
I
was
That is,
technically a
think,
free
yeah.
agent.
well, because he's not technically a free agent until the season's over. I think it was
Oh,
technically a contract extension because you can extend a contract at any point in the season to someone on your roster.
I don't remember how it was
So he
reported,
he
honestly.
didn't have to
So
become a free agent.
that almost feels like they're like, get this guy signed before he has the option to even look anywhere else.
The
Lock him
quickest
down.
Scott
Which, like,
Boras
he didn't
signing.
have to sign it. Like, he could have said no,
Sure,
but
yeah.
he also
yeah.
said, let me sign it before I look at anyone else.
Well, it
Said I
sounds
will
like
take
even
it.
though he is a Boris client, I feel like he kind of makes the decision of where. I mean, also like he's not the normal Boris client. He's not
At
the
I was gonna
all.
high
say, him
tier.
being a Boris client is shocking to me because I've never once gotten the impression that quality of life or day-to-day experience is a priority for those clients. So that's interesting to.
Yeah, it's
He's definitely an
definitely
outlier.
yeah.
When you think of like other Boris like clients, he's
Yeah.
one definitely the outlier.
Here's hoping Gavin's an outlier too.
Remember the
We-
pitching farm that built you, Gavin. No one else has a Carl.
Exactly. The Guardians announcement says he's back. We've signed catcher Austin Hedges to a 1-year deal. So it does say signed.
word.
It doesn't say
Huh.
extended.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, like in his, because then he had an interview, a Zoom interview with a bunch of people that they posted on, I think the entire thing is posted on YouTube. But some of the quotes were Austin said, I told them this is where I want to be for years moving forward. I want to finish in my career in Cleveland, whatever that means.
You
So
said yours plural. Amazing.
yes, exactly. So one, and I've been saying this for several years now. Even when he left, I said he was coming back. And by the way, that was the funniest day in the world, like of the past like 5 years when it was 23. I was at a Christmas party down the street at my neighbor's house, and my phone started going absolutely crazy. Everyone was like, Meg, are you okay? Are you all right? Are you still alive? Did you faint? And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? So finally I check, and obviously they re-signed him. And I'm literally like crying and shaking at my friend's Christmas party. And I like show my phone to my husband. I'm like, they re-signed him. He's coming back. And everyone's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "It's just my favorite baseball player. Don't mind me."
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand. No, I'm sorry.
Here's hoping that can be my Christmas with Eli this year.
Fingers crossed. I've
I'll
got my fingers
manifest.
crossed from you. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for the past couple of years. Hedgie is, now that he's 33, he's probably got, I would say, 3 to 5 years left on him, depending on what our other catching prospects look like, but depending on how Bo does, depending on how serviceable Fry is, and where else they want to
Coop.
play Fry. Yeah, Coop, and who else is down there right now?
Jay Cozy.
Cozy, yeah. So it depends on a lot of those things. He did say a couple years back in a Rose rotation episode, he was 30 at that point. So this was 3 years ago, I believe, that he said he has 10 years left in him.
Sure.
Buddy,
course.
nobody's collagen levels are good enough to let your knees go 10 more
I'm like,
years.
please just go look at Sandy Alamar's x-rays and talk to him about the amount of surgeries that this man has done. I know you do the one knee stance and you do the knee down thing, but I don't think that's gonna carry your knees as far as you think. So I think in his older age, he's getting a little bit more realistic. My guess is, like I said, about 3 to 5 years. And then I really think it's going to be an immediate move into a coaching position. There's going to be no blink. It's just going to be
It's going to
Austin
be as
Hedges.
fast as his signing this
Yeah,
past season.
literally.
Yeah.
It's going
That's
to be a week
he's
after
going
the
to-
season ends.
Yep. Announce his
And-
retirement and then say, by the way, I'm coaching.
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
same sentence, same breath of air.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
BT Dubs. I'm a
Wait.
bench coach now.
Do they just create a new position, or is it like, all right, whoever your current bench coach, like you're out of here. It's time to go.
There's no set coaching positions. You can make up whatever the hell you
Well, they
want.
did just make whatever they needed for Corey Kluber to hang out all year.
They did,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
And technically
guy.
Do it again.
they made up a title for Albernez
Albie,
this past
yeah.
year. They promoted him to a new made up title.
I wish I could do that.
Right?
I think it'll be interesting to see how his mentality changes over the course of this year and the next few. Because I think you're so right when you said it. When he went from Pittsburgh to the Rangers, it was such a vibe shift, and I think like that's the moment it really came out for him that he's not there to play baseball. He's there to make the pitchers be phenomenal and have Cy Young performances every time they go out there. And he's there for the vibes. And I think that's like the first time he really like, I don't want to say stopped caring about how he was playing, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting at like
he committed
He-
to the veteran bench player support role.
Yeah, he
And
stopped
committed to-
overthinking his play.
Yes.
he
yes.
stopped
It's kind
overthinking
of
the
that.
offense and focused 100% on the defense and just the personality portion. And he's been so much more valuable because of that.
Yeah.
Like
I'll
I
say
feel like
another-
his catching's gotten better, and then with his presence in the dugout.
Yeah. Another shout out to Covering the Corner, but in Quincy's signing of kind of like the signing wrap up, He did say only 4 teams have backup catchers produce more value than Hedges did in 2025. Hedges produced 9 defensive runs saved and 14 framing runs above average in 479 innings and 180 plate appearances. If given the full-time innings that Bo Naylor had, this would have come to about 18 DRS and 28 FRV, making him the runaway Gold Glove and likely Platinum Glove award winner in the AL. All this to say, Hedges is an elite defender behind the plate. So
That's
everybody's
insane.
saying that, like, oh, Hedges isn't worth it, 4 mil, overpaid tier leader, blah, blah, blah. No, he is legitimately still at 33 years old, a legitimate defender. And the guys, the pitching staff, a couple months ago, one of the reporters tweeted out a picture of Austin in the clubhouse with a signed Chargers helmet on his head, just looking like an idiot. But the Guardians pitching staff bought a signed, autographed Justin Herbert Chargers helmet for him. And one can only assume that they bought it for him because they appreciate what he does for them and how much he works with them to make them better at what they do. Because at the
I
end
was
of the
gonna
day, that
say,
is that is the only thing that Austin wants from this team is to make everybody the best player that he can.
Also, you have to consider that everything is about perspective because you can sit here and you can tell me that his batting average is not that great, but Scooble would disagree. You know,
Yes.
if you ask Scooble, that's
Google
the
killer.
best batter in the world.
I still say sometime in the
It's
off season, Hedgie called up Scoobs and was like, "Listen, bro, if you throw it this way, you got another Cy Young. The only payment is walk me. Just let me hit a home run every time we face each other, and that's it."
I'd
That
believe
is
it. I'd believe it.
hysterical that the stat about Scooble walking him.
It's quite literally my favorite statistic I think ever
It's
because it's
beautiful.
so funny.
It's hysterical. Like why?
Like
Why Austin
not
Hedges of all
one bit of
people?
it makes any sense to me.
No.
But that's why it's so perfect.
So one other thing, kind of like a turnaround, but back in again the dark days of 2023, there was Andre Knott did an interview at the beginning of 2024, and he said that during 2023 there was a moment, there were many moments that were down and upsetting and depressing, and no one was happy. But there was one where Jose kind of burst into the clubhouse and was just kind of in a mood, and he goes and finds this old box and starts digging through it, pulls out an old nameplate, throws it across the locker room and said, that's who we're missing, that's what we're missing, that's why we suck right now. Not in those words exactly, but that's kind of the gist that they were kind of saying. And it was Hedgie's nameplate. Like Jose Ramirez himself said during one of the roughest stretches that we have had recently that Austin Hedges was the missing piece of the clubhouse. So yeah, again, like I know people like try and just see his batting average and see that he doesn't. Yeah, I won't
There's
even
a
say he
reason he gets
doesn't
the good locker.
he doesn't get on base because he does have the ability to get on base. He's learning to take his walks. He's
Mhm.
getting on base. He's bunting. He's getting.
He also got a lot of credit for this year's meeting after the losing
Yes.
streak, right?
Yeah, he did it himself. Yeah, he
Hmm.
physically ran that one himself. Like
Yeah.
that's what irritates me sometimes. It's like so many people just willingly choose to not look past the numbers. It's like people are more valuable than you think they are. Like his numbers may not show it, but his locker room, his clubhouse, dugout presence clearly makes up for all that.
It's the intangibles. Like it's
Yeah.
the things you cannot quantify and measure. And if you
Mhm.
could quantify and measure it, there would be 100 Austin Hedges. Every team would have an Austin Hedges, and you can't train that, you can't coach
Yes.
that. So that's
It's
why
not
there's
something you
only
can
one.
teach. Exactly.
There's
I'm
only one
sure
Austin
if
Hedges.
you poll that entire clubhouse and you say, give me your top two, who are the most important people inside the clubhouse? Not who are who the best players, not who is your just who in that clubhouse keeps this team together. And Jose is obviously going to be number one, but I dare anybody to argue with me that Austin Hedges would not be named number two
No, he
by
absolutely would.
by his peers.
I think you would hear the opposite. I think you'd have Hedgie at 1 and Hosey at 2 because
I think
Hosey's the
Hosey
drive.
himself would say that Hedgie is number one.
Well,
Like I
because
said,
he's
it's the
basically
reason
already,
he
he's already
Yeah.
said it,
Yeah.
essentially.
it's the reason he gets the captain's locker. His locker is the largest. It's the best one. It has the
I didn't realize that.
He
he
does have
has
the
the
biggest
captain's
locker.
locker.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to dig around for that because I hadn't come across that in all of my quote unquote research.
My studies.
My studies,
But
my
they make the joke
extracurriculars.
it's for the catcher's gear, but it's not. It's Jose gave that locker to him. Jose had the pick and
Oh.
gave it to Hedgie.
There you go.
And you know what? Jose could tell me that the sky is green, and I'll be like, yeah, you know what? You're absolutely correct. So if he's saying this, it's
Yeah.
true in my eyes.
Yeah, if you're best player and the guy who wants to stay in Cleveland, the guy who says I want to spend my career, I want to retire in Cleveland, be a Hall of Famer in Cleveland, and go into Cooperstown with that C on my head, if he says that, if he comes barging into your clubhouse in a tizzy saying during a particularly bad stretch that we're missing one particular piece and that getting rid of him was a mistake, then yeah, you sign him to a 1-year, $4 million deal every single year.
It's so funny too, because that is exactly what Chris Anthony said in the presser when Hedgie came back. Was just, yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And Hedgie was just like, oh, like we just agreed this is probably the best spot for me. And Anthony was just like, no, that was dumb. We got him back immediately.
Yeah. Yep. No, we thought we knew what we wanted. We didn't.
Jose threatened
Absolutely
him,
not.
probably.
Probably.
Jose said, do this or else.
Jose saw Zunino come in and he's like, oh no.
I do like when we get little like glimpses of Jose making roster decisions. Like, I don't know if it's true that he was against trading Quan this year, but I like to think he was.
I
Like,
could
not that he's
absolutely see
making
that.
decisions, but he gets final approval of some things.
Well, like
I feel like you almost
would
have to
be-
think of it. You have to think of it with
Yeah.
him. Like,
Oh, yeah.
would this decision piss off Jose Ramirez? And if it's a yes, you don't do it.
Don't
You
do
throw
it.
that away. You never think of it again.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, if we followed that, we probably would still have Ahmed Rosario.
That
So
is true.
Okay,
He just
but
signed back with the Yankees, by the way.
I did
I've
see
been
that.
thinking lately that Stephen Vogt would use Ahmed Rosario so well if he had him. Like, if
I
there's
agree with
ever a
that.
time to really platoon a guy, Ahmed Rosario.
I would agree with that. I feel like he could make that work somehow, some way.
Oh my God.
The Ahmed wars aren't over. We're still doing it.
they're never over.
Oh gosh.
But yes, Hedges, to all the Hedgie haters out there who hopefully I hope at this point you're kind of like realizing that you've made a mistake and that one, he's not going anywhere.
I mean, personally, if you've
He's just
listened to
not.
15 episodes of Caught Lookin' and you don't like Hedgie at this point,
If
Why
you just
are
like
you
Hedgie, just
listening?
like Rokio, just leave.
We've got
Yeah.
hate
Get out.
listeners.
That's true.
they're like, actually, I want to hate Hedges and Rokio out of spite.
Yeah. So we're gonna give you guys views.
That's like a very common thing to do, though. Like, that's not
it
even
is.
Oh, it
edgy or
is.
cool. Just like a lot of people do that.
It's fine as long as they listen and give us clicks. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Hey,
take them
listen,
all.
I'm fine with that. You will not get an argument out of me. But yeah, I do fully believe that Hedges will be our. Who knows how long Vote's going to be here? I do hope that he's here for a long time. I love him as manager. I think he fits the vibe really well.
You don't win Manager of the Year in back-to-back years as your first 2 years as manager for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
exactly.
like if I have to pick anybody for my main guy at this point, it's him.
And I do think who is a better successor for Craig Alvarez than Austin Hedges?
It's set in
Because
stone. Like, it's written in the stars,
So
right?
we're just
him
gonna
and
go, like,
Vote.
no bench coach for this year. Do we have a bench coach yet?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we
They
do.
hired the Mariners
Seattle.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I remember now.
The vote
Was
that I
that
like.
vote off of wish.com?
Yeah, they're like literally twins.
That's why I forgot about him, because he's the same.
Yeah, because Vote's gonna finally get ejected this year, and then he's gonna sneak back out and put on that guy's jersey.
They have to do that one time.
They do.
Just try it.
I would
It's-
really love to get, because Vote was so goofy as a player, and I understand why he's not bringing that same vibe right now, but I would really love to see Goofy Vote show
Maybe
up
the
at some
third year's the
point.
charm.
I hope so. Like, and I get it. He's very close. Like the guys that he played with and like are still guys in the league. Like he played with some of these guys and like
Hmm.
often. So I understand that he needs to kind of like build that separation to be like, I'm a manager now. I'm
It's
not a
different.
player
Yeah, I mean,
anymore. I have to build authority.
yeah, like as
So,
somebody who personally, I was a freshman in college playing on a team with a senior, and that senior went on to become my coach my junior year. It was weird because I was like, we were teammates, we went through this shit
yep.
together, and now you're in
Hmm.
charge of me. It's a very weird situation to be in. So you
Yeah.
definitely need to establish that boundary.
Yep.
And that is one thing that I think is going to be weird when Hedgie does make that transition from player to coach. I think it is going to be difficult for him and, that his teammates. But he is kind of like taking that on right now. He is kind of becoming a kind of manager or a player coach
It's like
Yep.
currently.
when you took college credit classes in your senior year of high school. Like that's what he's doing right now. He's transitioning himself and
He's
preparing for
he's
the
earning credits towards
yes.
his coaching
He's getting
degree.
practice.
No, it's because there was a picture from spring training where he's just standing over, looking down the line of all the catchers that were in Major League
Oh,
camp for spring training. You could
yeah,
tell he
that's
was
Coach
coaching
Hedges
them.
right there. That was
100%.
absolutely.
It's
There
gonna go
was
hand in hand when Sandy retires. It's gonna just be Hedgie takes over catching and bench, and then someone else takes over first base, and we're all good.
there is a gentleman who I believe is now the Brian Watley. He's the catching coordinator currently for the Guardians. And he posted a little video of his son who is in eighth grade or going into high school or something like that. And he brought him to spring training to meet with and play with the guys. And there's some clips in there of Hedgie literally coaching this kid, like showing him what to do, directing him. It's a really cute little video summary of this kid's progress through the year, and also being able to play with Austin Hedges and Sandy Alomar and David Pry and Bo Naylor, like aside from his dad being a catching coach, it's a very cool little video to watch. So if you DNA catching is the guy's at, highly suggest you go watch it. It's a cute little video with Hedgie. Like, oh, and I think like Carl's out there too, like standing there with his, arms crossed, watching watching his pictures and but yeah. Anyways, I love Austin Hedges, and he will be Coach Hedges
I wonder if it
within.
comes like instinctively to him. Like, you know how we have like maternal instincts? Like, I wonder if like Cephas comes up and he's just a child. If Hedges is like, this is now my son. I must protect him.
I could see that. So, like, there was actually one thing that I have completely missed talking about, but Hedgie was on a 12 and under team that his dad actually coached, the 2005 Orange County Aztecs. And the cool thing about that squad was that it was Hedges, also had Matt Chapman, Zach Davies, David Fletcher, Joe Musgrove, Michael Lorenzen, and Bryce Harper
Oh
all
my
on this team
gosh. What a unit.
Goaded.
playing together. So Harper was apparently based out of Vegas at that point, but like for this particular travel team, I think he would travel with them. And they did go to the Little League World Series. I don't think they made it all the way to the end. They got kicked out within the first or second round. I don't know exactly when. But yeah, until Austin reached when he turned 13, they obviously did more professional coaching, but his dad coached him all through his youth until he turned 13. So I'm sure he takes some of that from his dad.
Oh, definitely.
I know there's more that I could go on with, but I think that will be it for this episode and for season 1 of Caught Lookin'.
It's so crazy.
Yay,
It feels
go
like we
That's
just
us.
started.
so crazy to think about. I know we've only done this. We only have 15 episodes, but thank you so much, all of you, and all of you, all you ladies here, and all the other Caught Looking ladies, for spending the season with us, for listening and sharing and showing up week after week. We truly could not have done this without the incredible Guardians community that truly have welcomed us from day one. The overwhelming amount of support that we have received since we started this in September has been amazing. So we really appreciate you guys. We're wishing you all a happy and healthy holiday season, and we can't wait to be back with you for episode 1 of season 2 on January 5th. We're going to be taking a little holiday break to enjoy Christmas and New Year's together and with our families and our friends. Until then, Enjoy the break, enjoy the off season, and remember, whether you're here for the hot takes, the heartbreaks, or the home runs, don't get caught looking.